Hello, and welcome to another episode of Ask an Assistant, the podcast for executive assistants and the people that love us. I'm your host, Jess Lindgren. Let's get to work. It is roughly quarterly time. Still working on that jingle. Maybe I'll have it one of these days. You know what? Let's add it to the roughly quarterly project. Maybe by this time next quarter, or maybe like by Q1 2026, we'll have a cute little jingle in store. Anyway, this week we are talking about unsubscribing from all of those emails that you sign up for or the ones that other people add you to. There are a number of ways that you can do this, and depending on your available resources, meaning time, interest, stress about email, ability to hire a human being to parse things for you, or willingness to let a service do it for you, I've got some options to suggest. Unroll Me is the one that I have direct experience with. I believe it's unroll.me. But it's been a while. That was something that my executive, before we started working together, we used to get a little daily digest of here's your little roll up from the day, what have you. But it seemed like it never caught everything. Like it was always something different every day. Things were still slipping through the cracks. This was also 11 years ago. So no tea, no shade to Unroll Me as it may stand today. But at the time, it was definitely a fledgling product. And the service remains free, which does mean that you are the product. Per their website, which I like the transparency, but I don't love the practice, honestly. Per their website, quote, to keep our users from having to pay, Nielsen Consumer LLC, which owns Unroll.me, measures e commerce through a technology that automatically recognizes commercial emails and extracts purchase information from them. Our technology is designed to ignore personal emails, which do not help us measure market trends. Unroll.me strips away personal information, your name, email, address. Oh, your name, email, address, anything that could identify you to build anonymized measurement products that analyze and track consumer trends. We respect your privacy and don't share your receipts, emails, or any of your personal information with our clients as part of our business model. End quote. All I can say about that is yikes, like super duper yikes. Like, no, thank you. I am really glad that several years ago there was a conversation about things like social media. Like, how come we don't have to pay for Instagram? How come we don't have to pay for uh other social media platforms? It's because you are the product. Like when something is free, you are the product. Like you are being advertised to. So other people can choose to pay for advertisements, but you have no choice in being able to see those advertisements. So kind of similar here. You are the product. They are anonymizing, stripping away your personal information. I don't know how I feel about that. Um, Alternatives to Unroll.me include, but are definitely not limited to, a service called SaneBox. This one does tout AI features, which seems to be a bandwagon that everyone's jumping onto these days. Another service called Superhuman also touts AI features. Clean Fox is another free one that Nielsen runs. And then there are two at the bottom of the list here that if I were doing this with a service, these are the two that I would look at. One is called Maelstrom, Mailstrom. Um, it says no AI, seems very customizable, and honestly, from the light feature comparison that I did between all of these different services, this is probably the one that I would personally choose to go with if I was in the market for a service. And my personal favorite one, honestly, and I might, if I were in the market for a service like this, go with this one just based on the name alone. It's called leavemealone.com, which I think is just very funny. It's an awesome name. They have a great data privacy policy. You pay for the service. Same with Maelstrom. You pay for that, which means that you are paying for the service. Like you are no longer the product. Um, so going back to leavemealone.com, really funny name. Seems like a great data privacy policy. You pay for the service and they don't sell your info. Like it seems like a really it seems like for what you'd be paying, the investment would be worth it. Like it was a pretty low cost and seemed to have good features. When I've done this in the past and how I continue to do it today is fully manually. I don't even like it when AI or algorithms or anything else like Slack recently unveiled a feature that's like, oh, your search results can be the most relevant. Like, computer, Slack, algorithms, AI, you don't know what is relevant to me. Okay. If I am looking for a keyword, it's because I know that this time 2 weeks ago, I messaged my executive in Slack and used a specific word like, okay, I can't remember exactly what we were talking about, but we were talking about his trip to Anaheim. I don't want a quote unquote most relevant results from 5 years ago when I sent him to Anaheim. I just don't, okay? Can you just please everything default to most recent? I don't want you thinking that you have some kind of inside line on what is relevant to me, okay? Going back to unsubscribing from things, however, getting ourselves back on track here. If I sign up for your email newsletter or honestly, heaven forbid, text messages, I unsubscribe immediately after using the promo code, but make a purchase, use the promo code, and then please leave me alone. After I have unsubscribed, I do not hesitate to delete subsequent emails and I will trash your deliverability stats. Like, I want for everyone in the world the EU and California rules for all of us. Like, that was one of the best things about living in California is all of the consumer protection laws, regulations, rules, what have you. Like, I signed up for a new gym. It was a Pilates studio and they had a like you can back out of this within a week clause. Like, they just I can't remember exactly what they were doing because this would have been like late 2019, early 2020, and we've all lived a lot of life since then. But they were doing something that I really didn't like, and I think they went back on the pricing or something. And I read through the fine print, and it was just like California residents, for any reason, you have 7 days to cancel with or without reason. Like, you can just totally change your mind on day 6.5 and cancel a binding contract like this. So I want those rules for everybody. And like all the GDPR stuff that scared the pants off of us, however many years ago that happened, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I want those EU and California rules for everyone. I want one click unsubscribe and then leave me alone forever. I don't want to take anyone to court or even get them fined over email abuse, but there is one company that I'm not going to name it right now. Although they did very recently come back into my inbox. I have no idea how. I have unsubscribed from these emails using every single email address that I know about that I have. I click spam, I block, I unsubscribe, like just over and over and over. I am trying to get these people to stop emailing me, and they still somehow are getting through. Like, it took me years to get them out of the inbox, and they're back somehow. Like, I am seriously tempted to throw the book at them. Um, However, if I sign up, like if I email you once, it drives me nuts. Like, I do a lot of stuff for my day job where I schedule a lot of interviews, I schedule a lot of meetings, I respond to emails, cold inquiries, that kind of thing. And a lot of people seem to take that as implied consent that I want to be added to your email newsletter list. Absolutely not. Don't do it. It does not give you permission. Like, me emailing you does not give you permission to sign me up for your newsletter. I will unsubscribe, delete, and block you and mark you as spam. Like, there was a group on LinkedIn that I recently tried to join, a group for executive assistants, and one of their mandatory intake questions was, we're going to sign you up for our email newsletter. And I was like, no, then I'm not going to join your group. Like, that is not nice. Like, if people want what it is that you're talking about, it's because your content is interesting. It's because the person writing it is writing good stuff. You're producing things that I want to hear about. Don't force my hand and make me sign up for your email newsletter. And don't just take one communication from me as permission to sign me up for your email newsletter. I don't like it. When I started working with my executive, we had over 9,000 unread emails. I believe it's episode 115, 115 of the Smart Passive Income podcast. If you're interested in listening to that, I will link it in the show notes. I think in total, the actual inbox was something like 12 to 15,000 total items. So it was just my executive would like kind of read stuff sometimes, or like over the weekend, nights, days, weekends, holidays, whatever. He'd be in his inbox constantly and would like read things, but not respond to them, not archive them, not delete them, not do anything with them. So the inbox was truly like somewhere between 10 to 12 to 15,000 total items, but 9,000 of them were unread. I spent a solid month in that inbox. I was learning the types of messages that come in. I was learning about trends in terms of like, well, what comes in over the holidays? What comes in when it's my executive's birthday? What comes in excuse me, what comes in when he was just at a speaking engagement? What comes in when he's been traveling? What kind of things are here that need action items? And what kinds of things are you don't even have to read them, like everywhere in between. During that time, I think that was like my first 3, 4 weeks working with my executive, I unsubscribed from hundreds of email newsletters, like maybe even into the thousands. Well, single thousand. I don't think he was signed up for literally like 2,000 email newsletters, but it was definitely high hundreds, if not low four digits. Um, my executive used to talk about this all the time, that we used to get 500 plus emails per day. I have personally cut that down to about 100 emails a day with very minimal filtering, going back to my disdain of AI algorithms, what have you, thinking that they know what's most relevant to me. I do not love filters unless I'm setting up like a super specific subject line, and here's the exact subject line. Like we just did a couple of meetings where we invited like 50 people to a series of meetings. I don't need 400, because it was quarterly meetings, um and it was like 50 to 100 people per meeting. I don't need 50 to 100 accepts and declines from the calendar invite. Like, I will filter that kind of thing, but like most everything else, I just don't. I don't trust filters. I have been burned by email filters. Um, Very minimal filtering in the inbox. I have really good email discipline. Everything that comes through the inbox is read by me, and then it is done. So, like, it's replied to, it's completed action items, wires are connected, T's are crossed, I's are dotted, what have you. So things are either done, deferred, like we're going to do it later, or this can wait until I speak with my executive. My executive and I meet once a week. And then, it's my job during the week also to minimize distractions for him. Like when it's something that can wait until next week, I'll just let somebody know, hey, Jess, thanks so much for writing in. I'm meeting with my executive again next week. I will get back to you with an answer. If you don't hear from me by XYZ date, feel free to reach out again. So it's either done, it's deferred, or it's archived. I used to be really strict about archiving because way too many people delete their emails. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, the information that you have thrown away. Like, this is a repository, this is an archive of your work. Don't delete things. Um, I have come around on deleting. I do not delete anything with an actual human being that we have a relationship with. I don't delete anything related to any kind of actual work or action item or what have you. But spammers have gotten so lazy. I can tell just from the email subject line if something is going to be junk. And by good email discipline, I mean that when I'm not in the office, Fridays, vacations, sick times, what have you, I am not checking email. Excuse me. My executive has talked about this a lot over the years, and I like to think that we have really rubbed off on our listening audience. We used to have a lot of people think they were super clever and like, oh, hey, I'm emailing you Sunday night, so you'll see this first thing Monday morning. No, we're not playing that. A, we do oldest to newest, and B through Z, it's the weekend. You should also be acting like it's the weekend. we're not here on the weekends. You shouldn't be either. My executive also does a lot of wheeling and dealing in his social media DMs. Thankfully, he managed all of his own social media. Like, I have never touched, not even for like a social media takeover, I've never touched his social media, which I am infinitely grateful for. The most I've ever done is like, I have filmed things. Like, he'll hand me his phone and be like, film me doing this, or he'll ask me like, can you go get pictures of this and send them to me? Like, I'm happy to capture content. I am so much happier to not be the one posting any of it. The wheeling and dealing in the DMs is a different story for a different day. But the piece that I control, the main inbox, it is a well-oiled machine that runs smoothly and has very few email newsletters in it. And that's all for this week. I hope you're all happy, healthy, and hydrated, as you may have heard over the course of the episode. I am reasonably happy. I am trying my best to stay more hydrated. I am not 100% healthy. There's a cold going through my family. Thankfully, still feeling pretty okay, but like not at 100% healthy. But as always, I would love to hear from you. Leave your comments, questions, thoughts, and concerns for me at askanassistant.com. And until next week, take care.